What up? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. I am your host, Mr. A.D. Walker. Hopefully, you can hear me. Can you hear me now? And yeah. All right. So I appreciate you guys rocking with us and hanging with us. I've been having sound issues. Well, not even sound issues. It just changes for whatever reason. So I appreciate you guys rocking and hanging with us. Blessing, Miss Lisa. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for sharing, because sharing is always caring. Make sure you watch check out the Brothers of Legacy podcast, and just welcome to the Brothers of Legacy podcast and broadcast, wherever you're listening from. So I appreciate you guys rocking with us. We're gonna have a great conversation today, as you just seen. Total transparency and honesty. Is it possible? Total transparency and honesty. Is it possible? When you're asked, how you doing? Can we be real about how we really feel? Or is it hard to be honest? Especially, is it hard to be honest with other people? Is it hard to be honest with your friends and family, about certain things? And I get it. Sometimes it's like, it's not even worth my energy because you ain't gonna hear it. Because I feel you on that. Feel you on that. So we're gonna dig into that. We got a great panel coming through. As always, I just like to come on and welcome you. Welcome. And I appreciate you guys for rocking with us and hanging with us each and every morning. You could have been watching a plethora of things, watching Squid Games again, but you're here rocking with us, and I appreciate it. All right. So, as always, like I like to ask you to do, make sure you share. Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. Share, tag, let everybody know that the brothers are in the building. Again, welcome to the Brothers of Legacy. We don't stand out, we stand up. We have all these conversations each and every morning, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I appreciate you for being here. Appreciate you for rocking with us. And if you feel like you keep missing the notifications, be sure to join our community. Text LWN to 84576. Text LWN to 84576 and never miss a broadcast, never miss an episode, never miss what the brothers is doing. All right. Mr. Rep Rock the House. Oh, yeah. Mr. Reparations is coming through. All right. So without further ado, let's get into this. Boom, boom. Hey, good morning, Aunt Sam. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Let's go. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. Oh, that's not what I wanted. There we go. Bam. We all are equal. All equal.
Oh,
All right. Good morning, gentlemen.
what's going on, fellas?
Yes,
Yeah, I know
indeed.
what you meant.
Man, that's all good this morning, man. It rain threw me off a little bit, not the schedule. But I said I got a little free time. Let me go kick it with my boy.
All right. Appreciate you for being here. If you don't know who's rocking in the space, hold on. Let me throw my brother from another mother, Pastor Brian
There,
McCrory in the
Morning,
building.
morning, morning.
yes,
All right.
sir.
So we got to my left, right, my brother Ephraim, Reparations Terrell in the
Yes, sir.
building. Below me, we got Pastor Brian A. McCrory Sr. in the building. Yes, indeed. And to my diagonal, my man with the plan, Kaneem Curvey in the building. So I appreciate you guys for being here. And everybody, hey, good morning, Keita. Like I said, this is your opportunity to share. Make sure you share. Sharing is caring. And let everybody know that the brothers are on. So, as you can see by the topic today, we're talking about total transparency and honesty. Is it possible? Is it possible? Now, for us, for the most part, I know we're transparent and honest with either our spouse or significant others or people we're close to. We try to share, try to get it out because we try not to sit on stuff and let it fester and become more. Um, but is it possible to be more transparent. You know, like we say, when if you're coming into church or work or just any or casual interaction, someone asks you, "How you doing?"
Yeah.
Can you really tell them how you doing? You know, and I get maybe like you might have had like the worst day possible, like up there. This is probably number one, two of worst days. Oh, can you feel free to really share, you know, what's going on? You could and not sit in a pity party, but even if you share it and you end it with, but I'm pushing forward. You know, like, you know, we're not listen, I ain't looking for your pity, but I'm just telling you, this face right here, you ain't gonna get the happy face today. I'm here. Just you know, like even this church, I'm here. Like I'm not gonna give you the 110 I usually give. 'Cause I'm just here.
Mm.
You know.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I feel you on that.
Oh,
Hey,
what do you
I
feel
had
comfortable doing? Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say I had to get transparent with a gentleman yesterday. I was doing insurance inspection, and the dude who owned the building, uh, well, he got a tenant that's it's a cafe, so they do coffee and soft drinks and stuff like that, right?
Right.
So we get there and I'm introducing myself and whatnot. And when we sit down, I start asking about how many employees he got, how many employees are paid with a 1099, how many part-time employees,
Right.
and the dude who owns the cafe. Well, let me set the scene for you.
All right.
When I walk in the building,
Yeah.
it's cigarette smoke everywhere, right?
All
I'm
right.
talking about just it's a cloud of cigarette smoke, and you got about five dudes sitting at this one little small table, and they all talking like it's not Russian, but it could be. I'm gonna say it's maybe Croatia or maybe
Like that region.
Georgia. Yeah, that area up there.
I
So
get
they
you.
are, but they see me come in there and immediately it's like the whole mood and the atmosphere just changed. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
I'm like, this remind me of a movie I didn't saw before. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, this must be what they talking about when they talk about them Russian gangsters and them Croatian gangsters and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, because when I start going around doing an observation of the interior,
Right.
it's like they ain't even got no coffee going. You know, what I'm saying? It's just cigarettes.
I
But
got you.
anyway, that's to set the scene. So
All right. All right.
getting back to them. So I'm asking all these questions about the employees and stuff.
Right.
And the guy who owns the building and the guy who owns the cafe, the guy who owns the cafe asked me, "What are all these questions about?" Well, I thought this was about insurance or something like
Right.
that. And then when he said that, the guy who owns the building jumped right on top of it. Yeah, I thought this was just about
Uh-oh.
insurance. What's up with all these questions? Hey, so here go the transparency, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is transparency. I was like, I'm looking at the guy that owned the cafe. I'm like, well, sir, you can tell me some information so I can plug this data in, or you can tell me nothing and I won't put nothing in. Hey,
Right.
both of them were like, oh no, that's okay, that's okay. I mean, it's up to you, sir.
Right.
Now you give me information or you don't give me information. That's up to
Right.
you. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh no, go ahead, go ahead. Hey, they was all both forthcoming
Right.
after that. Okay.
Right.
So I was like, they thought that I was gonna be like, give them this whole scenario. Well, you do this for this and this is that for that. And this was, no,
Right.
give me some information
Right.
or don't
It's
give
up
me
to you.
no information.
Right.
It's up to you.
Right. Right. All right.
But
So how
anyway, that was yesterday.
did transparency? Transparency.
Well,
So I
to
mean,
me,
so
see, that's just called keeping it real.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. What's the difference between transparency and keeping it real?
Well, I see. Here's the thing: I do believe that keeping it real is transparent, but
Right.
I don't think. I think that was just in
Hey, sir.
response to the circumstance, right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
The
And
situation
energy.
that he was in. So I'm all for that.
Right.
All for that.
Right.
But you have to help me understand, AD, when
Yes,
you
sir.
talk about being transparent,
Right.
because I expect. I mean, when Gervais said that, I would expect nothing less from him. Right? What you see is what you
Right.
get
Right.
in a situation like that.
Yeah.
But I also recognize that he's going to be guarded with certain areas of his life as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Gotcha,
So
gotcha.
so I'm trying to figure out where we what angle are we taking, because what he just said doesn't surprise me at all.
Right.
With his personality though.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
But in terms of
but the thing about it,
transparency,
no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, but in terms of transparency, I can also see a different personality responding differently to that.
Right.
You know, somebody trying to play it off.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah. 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 That's true. But
Right?
but
Keeping the
but in that
peace, not want to
situation-
ruffle any feathers, you know,
Right.
just, you
Right.
know, but Curve is like, hey, it is what it is. It's just what
Right. I could
you
either
know.
put it, or I could not put anything. Whatever you
Right.
want.
Yeah,
Right, how you want
Whatever you want to do.
Right.
yeah.
Right. I mean, I true. I get it, because everybody, like I said, everybody's response is different. So you know, like you said, when you walk in and like you said, you feel like I've been in this movie before.
Yeah.
I've seen this situation before. Like, let me keep my back to the door. Let me away from the door.
Like you walking, you ever seen that movie Taken?
Right.
And when the dad walk into the house
Yes.
and all the little gangsters sitting at the table, and he's like, and he make them talk. Like, I don't know if I like this scene or not.
They gonna get you on, bro.
Like, I don't have those particular set of skills. I don't know how it's gonna go down. But yeah, so how do you, so in those situations, you're straight honest, you know, like, do you feel you're honest in most situations, or you try to sugarcoat your answers and just dealing with family, you know, like not spouse, but just family, you know, like when they all right, let me just keep it real with someone where I'm gonna go with this. It just came in my mind. So you know the character of your family, right?
Yep.
And you know when the stories aren't lining up, you know, like, you know, when things just ain't, and they're telling you stuff, and you kind of either talking to fill space, or you really having a conversation. And do you step in and be like, man, just stop BSing me? You know, stop just telling me what you think I want to hear, and give it to me straight. You know, like, do you ever do that with family? You just like, I'm gonna let them say this story, because regardless of what I do, what I say, it may not make a difference in this situation. And kind of shifting it a little bit. I know I usually shift it later, but it just kind of came to me right now. Like, just, you know, and those that you know, and let's just say you're talking to somebody and you kind of know the other side of a story, right? And you're talking, like, even if it's a relationship, like Pastor, he talks to the wife and he talks to the husband. You know, he's talking to me, I'm telling the story, but he always knows the story from Sam. So there are things that are like, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, he's not telling me the whole story on this part.
Right.
You know, like, yeah, he was probably wrong on this because it's kind of lining up with what she said.
Yeah.
He's just not telling me the first part of it. You know, like, do you call people out on that stuff? You know, when you're having those conversations, or is it? And I know sometimes it's based on relationship, but do you call people out on things like that? And is it worth it?
It's worth it if they.
Oh yeah, it's
you know what I'm saying? Like, because you don't want nobody in that inner circle who, like, you can't trust. Like, okay, pastor got, you know what I'm saying, all these deacons and these members and stuff, right? And, you know what I'm saying? And not to start no trouble at Solomon Temple, but I'm pretty sure there's an inner circle.
Yeah, it's too late.
I know, put them out there. There's a random pastor out there somewhere on Terra Boulevard who has an inner circle of people, and that inner circle transcends like title. There might be a deacon in there, you know what I'm saying? There might be a loyalty, like a missionary or something, but it's beyond title. It's a circle of trust, right? That like, it's that keep it real circle.
Right.
I expect to hear honest and real feedback from everybody, but definitely from this circle.
Right.
And he's probably a little bit more open with that circle. You know what I'm saying? A little more transparent. There's been time I've been worried about bills, but I ain't went to my kids' room like, child, I don't know how we gonna do it this way. Like, but when I talk to Tangie, it's like, look,
right.
You know, I don't know what's gonna happen. I keep it a little bit more real with her, right? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to project a certain thing. So maybe I'm faking with my kids or whatever, but I'm doing it for a reason. I'm trying to keep I don't know, hope alive. I guess I'm trying to make them feel comfortable. I don't need that on them. But in my circle, my wife, I need her to keep. She can't do that to me. If I find out that like we had a big old bill I ain't see coming, and she just I ain't want to worry you. Like I'm gonna lose it. Like no. When it's me and you, I need to know it all. I need to know it like as real as possible. You know what I'm saying? Like the president. You can't have nobody talking about, it's Bin Laden over there. He tripping again. I need to know he got weapons of mass destruction. He on the way. They buying plane tickets. Like give me the real situation. So there's some people we fake with. Not that we fake people, but some people can't. Like my daughter can't handle the light bill. Why would I even put that on her? You know what I'm saying? That's something she just can't. Some people can't handle you keeping it real with them. You know what I'm saying? If you told everybody really what it is, could you really handle that?
Wow.
Man, my wife, she tell me to tone it down. Like
you put it all out there.
Well, I mean, what's the best way to put this? See, I've been too transparent growing up. So now that I'm at this age, I say probably my 30s.
Right.
Whenever, I say in my 30s, I had to try to like tone it down a little bit.
You realize,
but when I got with my wife, I was in my 30s when I got with my wife. When I got with my wife, she was like, you can be a little bit more tactful with how you give your opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not that you're not giving your opinion correctly.
Right.
But your delivery is a little suspect on how you.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So I've been trying to.
The real goes wrong. You ain't have to tell them like that.
Because I mean, I'm like
you're blunt.
Like
you're
how
blunt. Your message is blunt. Straightforward.
Like how I'm on here with y'all, right?
Right.
I've been on here maybe 2-3 months doing so doing that. And I don't think y'all ever heard me curse.
Right.
So when we together doing our social events, I don't think y'all ever heard me curse.
Right.
But I curse all the time.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying? So when I'm in an environment where, I'm trying to be better.
Right.
So I surround myself with better people. And I consider y'all to be better people. So that's why I like enjoying socially and like how we doing now, the conversation that we have right now, it's gonna help me be a better person.
Right.
So if I can muffle my profanity as much as I can when I'm in regular conversation, when I'm not in this group with y'all, when I'm just talking to somebody else, I may not use that profanity as freely as I'm accustomed to. But I ain't gonna lie though. I still like to curse.
I
appreciate your transparency, brother.
Yes, indeed. I do. For real.
And
I'm gonna be real. I've never heard you cuss. So I'm like I've been around you several times, so
Oh, it's very intentional, not
but that's what it is. Like, we don't always show. I don't know. It sounds crazy when you say it because it makes it sound like you holding you back.
Well, here's
respect of the circles.
Right.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, brother Terrell.
Go ahead.
I wanted to make Curvey feel better about. Well, not feel better because you're comfortable in how you feel. That's clear. But you're tactful. That's what you're basically saying. You're tactful, and I wanted to share this scripture with you out of 1 Corinthians because Paul had something to say about this. 1 Corinthians chapter 8 and verse 13, and a lot of us know the scripture. It says, "Wherefore, if meat make my brother to offend, I will eat no flesh while the world standeth, lest I make my brother to offend." In other words, if what I'm doing is offensive, or will cause someone else to offend, I won't do it in their presence. Even though I do it, I won't do it in their presence.
That's good.
That's wisdom.
Yeah.
Right?
Not being fake. It's just wisdom.
Not being fake. Yeah, I'm saying if that's just being wise. That's being courteous.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
respecting the people, the environment that you're in.
Yes, indeed.
You know, Paul said, I became like that I might win.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
So that's a mark of wisdom. And the transparency is, I don't do this in front of you all, but I just want you to know it is something that I do.
Right.
Hey, you know what's so funny about it though, Pastor? I know it's Coach Chocho is what we call him. I don't know why we call him that, but Coach Chocho, I know a coach back home who only cussed when he was around us. Like it was like the football environment. Like you know, they cussed us out. Like, but as I think about it, some of if they, you can't get your point across without saying it the way I don't want you to block. I want you to block. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I saw Chocho anywhere else, man, like just a
Never.
mild-mannered guy, there's no cussing. Like I'm like, who is this guy? So it's funny when you said it like that. It's like I only saw him cuss in that environment, but it was conducive to that environment. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying it's right to cuss kids out, but I'm saying that was the culture of what it was, and that's when I heard it.
Right.
So yeah, it's that I think Pastor said like courteous. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
Well,
So
and there's other cases. Jack Nicholson made the famous phrase, "You can't handle the truth."
Right.
You can,
right. Yeah. There are certain cases because there's layers or levels to this. You were talking about Terrell. You were talking about a conversation with your children versus a conversation with your wife. I can't pour coffee into my 4-year-old.
Right.
No.
Right.
Right.
So I have to be very careful what I pour into my 4-year-old so as not to destroy them. So your point is children can't handle the pressure of certain conversations. It should not be on their plate.
Right.
It's too much for them. Right.
Definitely.
That's why the Bible talks about being on milk versus being on meat.
Definitely.
And so in those particular cases, it's not making you dishonest by not providing transparency. Because it's not about honesty.
Right.
That does this make me look fat? Now that's a whole nother conversation.
That's a whole nother conversation.
I just want a real answer. I want a real answer.
No, sir.
So I think it's important for people to understand, a wise man once told me it's not necessary to tell it all.
Right.
Yeah.
Certain people can't handle your all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so you have to be able to discern, whether to bring it all or discount some of it. So that's the reality.
So I'm gonna throw this question out that Richard put out, and it's for everybody. What if you're in a situation where you're fearful to be open and honest and transparent? What then? If you're fearful,
you're in the wrong situation then.
Oh,
it's like you, and then I mean this is like we keeping it kind of. It's hard to tell it. It's situation by situation. You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost like the president. What is the president really required to tell the people? You know what I'm saying? What's America's business, and then what's his private, personal business? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like in any given situation, if you're uncomfortable sharing it with somebody, I wouldn't force you to do nothing you ain't comfortable with. Right. Now, depending on who that person is in your life, I would question why you feel uncomfortable with that person. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like if wife, best friend, brother, mother. You know what I'm saying? The situation's changed because the relationships changed. But like, there's probably some stuff I can share with my daddy that somebody else might say, I ain't telling my daddy nothing. He can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, So
that'd be me.
You feel me? Like people, it don't even cross over the same. Like, daddy don't even represent, that title don't even translate the same for everybody in given situations. So it's to each his own, but it's like, there should be somebody is the whole point. Is my whole point that you got an opportunity to share it with. Now, like maybe I can only talk to pastor about something that happened at the church. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he not dying to hear about something from work.
Right.
Maybe me and Kaneen talk about some business that I can't get off the ground.
Right.
You know, I can tell him that. I might
Right.
not be able to tell my wife that because you know
Right.
I'm trying to get her to invest with me. You feel me? That's
Sure, I'm strong
that's
and
our
I'm leading
money.
this thing.
Hey,
You don't want to hear me
falling
talking
apart.
about I ain't sure the market look a little, you know, they don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? She watched HGTV. She wanted to be handled in 30 minutes. So I
yeah.
talked to him like, hey bro,
Nah.
I ain't even know probably would cost that much. You know what I'm saying? So it has to be somebody I can tell, like I don't got this all figured out.
Right.
It has to be somebody who I can tell, because I'm telling y'all right now, if my wife was beating on me, I couldn't tell none of y'all. I feel funny in front of y'all, like you know, your wife beating on you. You know what I'm saying? But who can I tell?
But that's different though, bro.
Yeah.
You're saying you saying you wouldn't, not that
Yeah.
you couldn't. You're just saying I wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
Okay,
Yeah.
I received that. So
Yeah.
you saying that I could? I'm just choosing. Not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could talk about it.
Right.
What y'all
Yeah.
gonna say?
I don't know.
There you go.
I don't know. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know what I
There's debate being transparent. He's saying, "Well, I don't know if I can talk about that." Look, my response might be too transparent for you.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Just keep hitting me. Like,
Just had a rough morning.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey, but I tell you what though, I will listen, brother. I just don't know if I don't know if I would have the words to help you out of that situation.
right.
So
Right.
I mean, and if I don't know what I'm doing, I may hurt you worse than what you already are. So,
Right.
but I will listen if you just want to vent. You feel me?
Right.
But
I
you
think
know,
right there, that's some transparency.
Right. Yeah.
Right there.
Because I mean, dang. You know, like it would be a shock. It's a shock to the system. It's just like
for real. What did you say?
We could talk about it, bro.
right.
This right here.
But when we done, I need you to still see me up here.
This and this. Don't even.
Listen. I would. I mean, I'm being honest. Like it would. You know. All right. So let's pause for a second. Let's stay here for a second because it is Domestic Violence Month and all that. You know, like something in. You know, for guys, it's not an all the time occurrence. Like it's not something. Most movies are men beating up on women, and there's always a space and there's always a place, and then you know there's the groups and. I'm ready for you, girl. What happened? What'd he do? You know, like they
definitely each other.
They got a whole support system, you know. Guys, it's just like, you know, like I can't even imagine like you in a relationship and one day you're like, I don't understand why you doing such a boo boo boo. And she, you know, like, whoa, wait, where did this relationship just turn like that? And then every disagreement or something happened, she, you know, like, and then I come into, you know, like you see me or we go hang out, not even on here, and I'm. You know, I got a black eye. Of course, I'm like, man, I'm so clumsy. You know, like you wouldn't if you see a woman, you just you start thinking it. But for a guy, you just like, dude, you got into a fight, you lost. Just be honest. You know, like
I would have to say, you know, that somebody beat me up before I could tell you it was my wife. You feel me?
Right.
Like I just keep losing the fight at Kroger every week.
Now, see, that's pride right there. I got plenty of that myself, bro. So I ain't gonna even lie. I got plenty of pride. So it's certain stuff that my wife be getting on me about.
Yeah.
And I be wanting to buck the sister.
Yeah.
Right. Lost it. Somebody must have called him. Let's see.
But you know, Kaneen said something that was really important. He said
but
that
yeah.
Go ahead,
bro.
We lost for a second. No, we lost.
Yeah. No. I'm saying some things I just try to, I guess, minimize.
Okay.
Because I know my pride is telling me like, man, you should just be like, shut your mouth. But the common sense is subduing the pride because that's gonna be an issue that's gonna happen. And it's gonna be something I can't walk back. You feel me?
That's the
right.
But my pride really want to tell her though.
That's you counting up the cost. What is the
Kaneen said something that real like he said if he advised me, he wouldn't know how to, and might leave me worse off than I came.
Mm.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And like,
Indeed.
not to get preachy, but Pastor helped me with that. Remember when they tried to cast out that demon, and Buddy was like, "Paul, I know, but you, I don't know." Whatever. Like, people be messing with stuff that be too heavy for them. You know what I'm saying? And then you leave people all the way messed up. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you come to me about your wife beating you, like AD say, I'm gonna be so shocked. You know what I'm saying? That by the time I figure out what's going on, I already done told you to hit her back, leave her. How did you get in that situation? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna mess you up.
I get what you're saying, Terrell. So let me read this comment real quick, and I'm gonna throw something out there. Sam says that's not totally true with women. More times than not, women don't tell their friends either. Most times it's just found out just because, not because it was openly shared. So she says, most times just found out. But I would say, like, I get what you're saying, but if you're the closest guy to me, or I'll call pastor, like, hoping I just need to get it out. I need to say it, I need to say it. Like, I don't know what to do. I mean, in my head, I think I know what to do. I know you probably don't have I just need to say it. Like, even if I won't, because sometimes, like, you have an answer, but you're like, I don't know if that's a good answer. So you just listen. It's like, I feel you. I'll pray. Like, you need me to support whatever you need me to do. Like, you tell me if you need me to do something. Like, you need me to come over, let's pack, let's bounce. Like, you tell me what needs to happen. I think just to be the support, listen, because sometimes just getting it out, it's like, all right, I can't believe I just said it, but I just say it, like she is abusing me, like this is real, I think just to say it. I mean, granted, like any of you guys, it'd just be a pause, like, did he just say what I think he said? Like, it'll just like, it'll take a minute to process, and
I agree with you 100%, AD, man. When you thinking in your head, you experiencing it and you in it. But when you verbalize it, when you actually have the words come off your lips to somebody else, it is a cry for help.
Yeah.
But it's also the fact that you actually seeing the reaction on somebody else's face about what you're going through, like how they react. Right. And you know what I'm saying? So like he was saying, if I tell him, like, hey man, I wouldn't take that no more. I'll call the police. I'll hit up. You know what I'm saying? But that might not be what he really want.
Right.
What he really want is to keep his relationship. He just want that specific issue to change.
Yeah, like
he don't want his lady going to prison.
Right. I know.
Everybody gonna know what you like. He was talking slick, bro. Like, that's what I'm saying, AD. You got me. I know you got me, but I'm saying, when a dude, and I'm interested in what Sam says. I thought all females tell some kind of way. But like, if a female,
they got pride too.
Is it pride? That's my question.
Well, no,
they got pride too.
It's pride.
Sometimes it's pride,
right?
But other times, it's just not wanting to expose the wound.
Yeah,
because it forces you to have to deal with it.
That too. And then if we're like a perfect looking couple, like we go to church, all of our social spots, we like the cute couple, and boom, boom, boom. We, like, so this public image perception in our heads,
Mm-hmm.
that we created, and so it's hard to tell.
Can we dispel that real quick?
Dispel it.
Dispel it.
Couples out there is no perfect.
Right.
Let's just make that clear right now.
Right.
Great moments.
Nobody has it all together.
Right. Nobody. Yes. Nobody.
Okay.
No matter how good they look in pictures. Nobody. Okay. No matter how coordinated they look.
Yeah. You just said it, AD. It's the pictures.
Right.
Is every time they always catch the good moments.
Right.
But they don't catch the bad moments when they got that dog face and they screaming and yelling at each other. You know what I'm saying? They don't take a picture of that.
Right. Yeah. So it's I
think one of the points has to be made that, when you talk about when you gave that example, Ephraim, about physical abuse, and Kaneem's response to that, one thing that I learned a long time ago is when someone is looking up to you, sometimes, you know, we hear something from someone and it shocks us to our core. I had no idea you were going through that. Right.
Right.
But what I've learned is sometimes your reaction to the message can make or break the situation. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know, there was an old commercial, that old commercial, never let them see you sweat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
We have to get to a place because culturally, we don't like to tell our business.
Yeah.
You know, and I know this goes beyond just your family business and that kind of thing, but culturally, we don't like to do that. We don't like to share. We don't like to take anything outside because of the shame, the embarrassment of it all. We don't want to be talked about, you know. And I learned a long time ago that, you know, I've heard people have come to me with things. I'm like, oh, wow, that's pretty deep inside. But to them physically, I'm like, okay, I hear you. I understand. You know, inside I might be blowing up like, oh my God, this is insane.
Yeah.
But in front of them, I'm saying, okay, let's figure this thing out. You know, because, you know, that's why I always believe in prayer. When someone is giving me something, the minute they start talking, I start praying. I'm listening to what they're saying, but I'm also praying and asking for discernment and asking God to give me the right response to what I'm hearing. Right. Because sometimes our response to something that is shocking to us will destroy them from ever saying anything else about it.
Yeah.
Right. So I appreciate
that's good. Yeah.
What Kaneem is saying. You're saying, if I'm not in a place to help you, I don't want to be in a place to hurt you.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
And that's good. That's great to be able to say.
Right.
Because you finish it with, but I'm not going to leave you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm
listening. Right.
That's and see, I think that's what allows us to be more transparent and honest with one another, because we're afraid of getting cut off because we did it wrong.
Right.
We don't measure up because, you know, we live in a day and age where people just cut you off if you don't measure up.
Right.
You know,
Definitely.
So I think it's important to have that type of transparency.
Right.
Without making somebody feel like they've been left on an island.
Right.
I'm
with you on that. Go ahead, preach. That's why you're supposed to be a preacher. That's exactly why you're supposed to be a preacher. I respect your position. Hey, you put that very eloquently. I would say, man. That was very. Go ahead. Don't let me stop you. I just want to say
that. Think about it. I've been in meetings. You know, we talk about, you know, business meeting.
Right.
I've been in corporate America, and there's a strategy. There's a strategic shift in the direction of the company or the group. Right. And you have the meeting, and you come away from the meeting, and everybody agrees this is the direction we're going to take. And then as soon as the meeting is over, you get the text or the phone call. You see how crazy this is? I'm like, you didn't say nothing. You didn't say anything at the meting.
Right.
Right.
But you want to tell me
I can't count on you helping with the momentum.
Right.
That kind of lack of transparency can hurt the movement.
Pastor, let me ask you, it, like, who do you put that on in most situations? When it was presented, did it seem like I ain't looking for no ideas, even though I said I was? Or was it just that person saying I'm scared to speak up?
It's good.
I think you have to consider both, right? If you operate in a culture where people are afraid to speak, then you have to look at the head of the table.
Right.
What kind of culture are you developing here?
Right.
You know, but with your leaders, like for me, you know, I personally, I'm pretty wide open, right? I'm probably more open than I should be, but I'm not all the way open either.
Right.
Okay.
Because even Jesus had Peter, James, and John.
Yeah.
Right. So we have to keep that in mind, and that simply because everybody can't handle the weight of the messaging, the weight of the strategy.
Do you find, and I'm asking everybody, do y'all find an area that y'all are more guarded with? Is it finance? Is it Is it pride? You know what I'm saying? Like physical, like somebody beat me up, or you know what I'm saying? Is it efficiency? Is it a certain area that I don't care what people know about me in that area? In another area that you like, nah, this is what I'm super guarded about.
I think mine is probably say finance sometimes. You know, like that's the hardest, some of the hardest conversations, you know, like if there's a going through, that's the conversation that's probably hardest to have. Like I can talk about everything else. If, you know, if there was health, you know, anything going on, like I can express that. Well, I could probably do that here. Like I wouldn't, I'm not as guarded. You know, even
You're saying you're not as guarded with finance?
No, I'm more guard. Finance is my biggest guard. Like I'm guarded. You know, like I don't know. That's the spot that you feel like a failure in my, like my pride.
You want to know why? You want to know why finances is the most guarded?
Why is that?
Because we don't feel like we have enough.
Probably. Right.
We don't like to talk about what we can't afford.
Right.
You know, but I guarantee you, if you had $10 million in the bank, you'd have no problem talking about money.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Yeah,
it's relative.
Y'all need anything from Hawaii? Because I'm about to go there real quick.
I'm headed that way. I'll bring y'all some sand.
And one thing I say about finance, I know that's your biggest guard,
right?
But if you don't, I mean, it's almost like getting to know somebody.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? If you don't share a little bit to the person who you're trying to, they'll never know exactly what's going on in your world.
I got you.
So if you only keeping your finances to yourself,
right?
When will you get help to make your finances better?
When I'm in super trouble. When I'm in super trouble.
Right before they come up, put me out.
Hold on, FBI. I got you your money. Hold on. Hey, I need
and the funny thing about it is, a lot of folks will be like, "Oh no, I don't have." Everybody is a little guarded about finances. I don't care who you is.
Right.
Even Pastor talking about that Timmy, he guarded about his finances because it's $1 billion dude that got more money than him. You know what I'm saying? So, but the thing about it is, if that $10 million guy opens up his finances to that $1 billion guy, that $1 billion guy may give him information so he can get on his level.
Right.
It's information that the $1 billion guy got that the $10 million guy don't have.
Right.
But
and
what you're saying, okay, I'm gonna cut you. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm yes, I did mean to cut you off. But do you get there talking about money,
right,
or do you get there talking about strategy?
Right. Okay.
Because I'm not going to win you over telling you, man, I can get you $1 million.
Right.
Nah, well, if that's your interpretation of what I just said, then no.
Right.
So,
I'm asking you for clarity because I want to speak for the person who won't be transparent out there listening.
Well, let me give you my little 2 cents.
Okay.
It's a strategy for somebody who's staying in Section 8 for generations and generations.
Okay.
Them paying $100 a month, and they grandma paying $100 a month, and they great grandma paying $100 a month for 30 or 40 years. It was a strategy why they stayed in that spot, because they never did change what they was doing. That was their strategy. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna wait on this check, and I'm gonna pay my rent, and they're gonna subsidize my electricity, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna give it to my child, and she gonna give it to her child. That's their strategy.
Right.
Well, other folks who working a 9 to 5, their strategy is, I'm gonna get up in the morning, I'm gonna put on my shoes, put on my clothes, I'm gonna get ready, get in my car, I'm gonna go to work, I'm gonna do my 8 hours, I'm gonna come home. That's their strategy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it just depends on where you want to be in life. So the strategy I'm talking about is that if you have a goal and a plan, that's what the $10 million man had. Right. He started out somewhere. He wasn't a billionaire from the beginning.
Absolutely.
So once he got there, and the same thing for the $10 million guy.
Right.
He didn't have $10 million from the beginning. Right. Whatever his strategy was, it only got him to $10 million.
Okay.
As far as he could get, that's all his strategy would allow him to get to.
Gotcha.
So the other guy, like, hey, well, if you implement this, and if you maybe take this out, push this to the forefront, and then change the level of the way you're doing it, this may increase your income. It's about how he did it.
Right. Indeed.
But there's always change. But if you don't know what the change is,
Right.
then your situation will be the same because
Right.
that's all you know.
Okay.
Yes,
I think that.
absolutely. I have learned, like, you say, that was a strategy for generations. And my feeling is, no, that's not a strategy.
Right.
I get it. It's what they did. And if that's what they did, it's a strategy. But I don't
Right.
think anybody thought about it. I think it was just survival.
Yeah.
Right.
Or
On
just
that
kind
level.
But that's not even survival though. That's just waking up in the morning and winging it. Yeah.
Nope, you can't do that. Because now you're diminishing the perspective of the individual that's living that.
Right.
Because the Bible says my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
Right.
Some folks just don't know any better.
Right.
I'm doing
That's
it because
true.
my mama did it. She
Right.
did it because her mama did it. Or he
Right.
did it because his daddy did it.
Right.
And they don't know any better. And
Right.
so now that you have to educate them and you have to start asking questions. Do you like where you live? Do you
Right.
want a bigger yard? Would you like to do this? Would you want to be able to do this? And because this is what I do. The Bible says we overcame him, the devil, by the blood of the Lamb and the words of our testimony.
Right.
Sometimes it's your testimony that gets people thinking like, well, how did you? Because when you think about network marketing, they don't tell you I'm gonna make you rich. They say, have you met Johnny? Did you see this dude? He's living this life. He's got this. I want you to I want you to meet this guy. I need you to meet this guy. When you meet him, he's gonna change your life.
Right.
They don't say he's going to make you rich.
Yeah.
They want to change your thinking.
mind. Yeah, you want to change your thinking. Right.
The woman from the well, what did she say? She didn't say, she said, come see a man.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And people like, who is this man?
Right.
Come see a man who told me all about myself.
Right.
What? Who is that? Well, let me go see who this is.
Right.
And she didn't say, come meet your savior. Come meet the one who's going to get you to heaven.
Right.
She just talked about what it did for her.
Right. Yeah. Definitely.
And for certain people are going to need to know what it did for you because you can't come talking to me about money and you driving a beat up Pinto.
I got a strategy though. So listen, hold on. Okay, so let me ask the question. So what are you guys guarded about? Like, what's the one thing that you're most guarded about?
Oh man.
What's hardest to get to?
That I struggle to talk about, or I'm resistant to talk about.
Yeah. What about you?
For me, man, it's kind of like all in like family or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, like what's going on in your family?
Yeah, like if I'm messing up the family, you know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Kids' shoes don't fit no more. I'm beating my wife, you know what I'm saying? What if I did something crazy? You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't feel like I had to get a straight, you know what I'm saying? I feel embarrassed by that. Like if something happened regarding my family, they not, top law, you know what I'm saying, lights off, all that kind of stuff. I that hurt me bad, man. I'm super guarded around family. Even when it's going right, I'm still like, don't brag too soon because they gonna want that light bill money again next month. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's family for me, man.
Gotcha.
Even what's funny, even when family die, I don't even like be broadcasting. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Right. I think with that, to me, like the broadcast, like I've done it more or less, if just in case there's someone in the circle or someone that knows that not directly connected, so they know about it. That's to me with broadcasting. Like if someone in my family die, just kind of posting it just so they know, not like for posting sake, but just post it like, hey, blah blah blah, I missed them, and boom, 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 and they see a picture like, oh, when's the funeral? So instead of back in the day, you had to call everybody. Did I call everybody? Did I let everybody know?
Yeah.
So no one gets slighted from a funeral, that
person
might have been connected. And
most people, shut up. Most people like the stuff they post is not something they usually guarded about, though. You know what I'm saying? Like because it's probably, if you look through somebody's timeline, you know what I'm saying, what you don't see is probably something they're a little more private about.
That's good.
I'm talking about those who post like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's true. Gentlemen, nothing? Can't think of nothing?
Man, these some wide open brothers right here, man. I'm trying to get like these.
No, I mean,
I want to be like that when I grow up.
I guess I I'm saying I can really
if I'm
think
at
of
odds
like,
with my wife,
You said what?
if I'm at odds
yeah.
with my wife,
Right. Okay. You got it.
I'm not saying nothing.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. I got you.
I was just about to say my marriage as far as our intimate conversations.
Okay.
I guess that would be some same thing that Brian just said. You know, I mean, because if we're in a good space and we always, well, I ain't gonna say we always, that'd be a lie.
Most times.
When
Most times.
we
Good space.
yeah. But 90 some percent of the time,
Right.
but them other percent, you know what I'm saying? I probably wouldn't.
When
Is
you
she
talk
putting her
about-
hands on you, bro?
Yeah. Oh no. But I guess that probably would be the same thing Brian just said. I don't know why I keep on rambling. Yeah, same thing.
So you guys. So let me ask you. Let me throw this out there. So you guys are more open. If someone asks about your family, like outside the house, like
Here's what you have to think about.
Man,
This
yeah,
is
go
what you got to
ahead.
think about though, AD, because it's a trick question to me,
Yeah.
right? Because you could ask me a question and I could
Right.
very easily say that's none of your business,
Gotcha. Right.
right? I could say that. But when you talk about transparency, there's not much that I'm not willing to talk about.
Right.
You know, when I say, you know, if I'm at odds with my wife, and to Kaneem's point, you know, you talk about, you know, being in a good space, but the reality is being at odds with your wife doesn't mean you're not in a good space. It just means today's not a
Having
good
a
day.
moment. Right.
Yeah,
Today is day 5, but my marriage is
Yeah.
stable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing
So
signing
I'm
papers.
not ready to talk to you
Yeah.
about my today when I know my foundation is still solid.
Right.
Yes. There has been no catastrophe. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But
You
Pastor,
know.
let me ask you this though: does that mean by the time you speak about it, it's already in an unfixable place?
No, not really, because you have to understand patterns of behavior. If I see a pattern of behavior developing
Right.
that could end on a sour note,
Right.
then I got to deal with her.
Mm.
And if I'm trying to deal with her and I'm not getting a response, then I have to engage a resource for assistance.
Right. Okay.
Right. So you got to, I mean, you know, and so that's, to me, transparency with regards to business, relationship, things of that nature. You know, you have to know the difference between a mood swing and a relationship issue.
That's good.
Right.
The difference between a bad tactic and a disruptive strategy.
Right.
You have to know the difference between those things so you can keep yourself protected.
Right.
You know, if you see a strategy that you know is going to ruin the household, that's something we got to deal with.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, but if I'm too late taking the garbage out, that's not a divorceable issue.
Not to me, no sir.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
But if me being too late taking the garbage out leads to me being too late paying the mortgage,
That's something different.
I got to measure I got to start tracking the patterns of behavior. You know,
Yeah.
you woke up late this morning.
Right.
You woke up late again. Wait,
Right.
is there something going on here?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and you get nothing in response.
Right.
Now, you know, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was just about to say nothing in response, and your actions are not changing. You're still consistent with your disruptive actions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
You've been good.
you have a
Listen,
whole
now.
new pattern.
Right.
And your whole pattern is just not acceptable.
Right.
We need to really sit down and have a one-on-one
Right.
about this new pattern that you have chosen.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's good. So we talked about what we wouldn't do. So let me ask this. So do you have those in your life that you can, outside your spouse? Let's throw that outside your spouse. Are there people that you're connected to that you feel like you can share everything with?
No. I'm quick to I'm quick to go ahead and put that out there. I definitely.
You know, too, like it was kind of, we brought up with that distrust too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even in the neighborhood, you talk kind of, don't let everybody know what's going on, they'll move on you. You feel me?
Right.
In my neighborhood, you don't hear a whole bunch of people talking about the Christmas presents they got on the tree, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like you just giving like, man, mama got me everything. I got 300 in cash under the stove. If you look to the back of it, like people don't talk like that. So it's kind of indoctrinated in us, I guess. You know what I'm saying? To be like, all right, don't speak on that, or don't speak too soon. That's why in the neighborhood when people talk so much, they stand out a little bit. Like, don't tell him everything, man. Like, you know,
you talk a lot.
It's kind of I get the principle of what they were trying to get to us,
right?
But you know, and sometimes we we put too much out there, right?
And
it's
that's real talk right there, because just like you said, neighborhood in where I grew up at in the city of Houston, you didn't have folk come in your house like that. Like, you might come to my front door,
right?
But I ain't gonna even let you look in there. I might slide through the door just so you won't be able to see what we got.
Hold on one second.
Growing up?
Yeah, growing up. Yeah.
See, when I was growing up, half the time our door wasn't even locked.
Oh no, man. Well, you didn't grow up in the inner city then. You must have grew up in
Chicago.
Man, okay,
I don't know where you grew up. I don't know where you grew up.
I'll tell you, I grew up in Kankakee, Illinois. Okay, so I was an hour south of Chicago.
Okay. Kankakee. I've never heard of. I can't tell you what about.
All I'm saying is that at the time, the season that I grew up in, you didn't have to lock your door. It doesn't mean people's houses were getting broken into, right? But we had my mom is an open spirit.
Mm.
She never believed we had anything that anybody really wanted. Right? I'm saying if you come up in here, something wrong with you. I don't mean like we didn't have anything of value,
but not that somebody.
He just didn't see life through that lens.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got you.
You understand?
Yeah,
because
I grew up totally.
She had 4 sons. There was always somebody in our house.
Right.
Always. And so I'm open because I came up in an open environment.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know, there was always somebody living in our house. Somebody's child was staying with us, my cousin, or, you know, we had a pastor's son living in our attic once. He was, 18, 19 years old and wanted to get out of his dad's house. He moved into our attic, and I'm saying, so we always had, and matter of fact, it's funny, when I was little, the local newspaper wrote an article about our house. It was my brother Mark, who you guys see on here sometimes.
Yeah.
They titled the article, "The Kid Behind Home Plate."
Okay.
Right.
Because our house, the steps of our house, at the bottom of the steps is where home plate was. We played baseball at our house. So all the kids would come over to our house and you stand out on the sidewalk and you'd pitch towards our front door, and we stand at the bottom of the stairs at our front door swinging the bat. How do we do that and never break a window? I have no idea. But
I'm picturing like you never gave me nothing.
Yeah. But I'm saying, but they wrote this article because our house was kind of a central point, because if you played any sport, we had 4 people on the team.
Yeah.
Right. You play baseball, how many you play basketball, you have 5 people. Like my youngest brother didn't play, but my brother Mark, Paul, and I, we were 3 people who we played sports. So, and we were good at it. Right. So 3 people on the team always came from our house because my mom had 4 sons. So you didn't go play a game and not come by the McCrory's house and pick up the fellows. Wow. Right. So so it depends on how you come up. Everything depends on how you come up.
Right.
That determines how you manage and how you handle and how transparent you are. But remember, the reality is, my mother said, our business stays our business. So even though we had an open door policy in our house, you didn't tell family business.
Yeah.
And my brother Paul, if my mother wanted to keep something in the house, Paul was never invited to the meeting. Paul found he learned stuff at 30 years old. He's like, when did that happen? Oh, we couldn't tell you. Right? So, yeah. Wow. So a lot of it has to do with the culture of how you were raised, man.
Yeah. And I don't know if everybody else got siblings, but I ain't had no siblings. And so that was the difference for me. I was the only child. and my mama, I mean, like we literally I literally grew up in the project. You know what I'm saying? When it was time when food stamps was really a book and you had to fill out the actual stamp to
Right,
give. I
right,
had
right,
that with government cheese, it was really a thing. And the
right,
potted eggs, we really went and stood in line for that.
We need some
right.
clarity here, bro. Remember, you could pull everything out, but you could only pull that $5 bill out if you was at the counter getting ready to pay. You couldn't walk around with no
Oh
loose
yeah.
$5 bill.
No,
It
you
had
had
to
to
be in the
you had
book.
to have the whole book.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You couldn't
no,
walk around with
the
no
singles,
dollar.
you didn't have to have no book for the singles, but
We
you had to have a
we
book for the
had
five.
in Houston, Texas, you had to have a book. You
Wow.
couldn't pull out 1, 5, 10, or 20 with the book.
All right.
You had to show it right then and there.
Right. All right, Pastor. Appreciate you, man.
Got to jump.
See you
All right,
All
tomorrow.
right, have a good one, man.
You too.
All right. So yeah, 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 I remember. Oh, he said, "Good." There goes Mark. He said, "It's all true. It's all true." Co-sign on it. Co-sign on it.
Hey, it was crazy back there, man. So that's all I say. It went because, like he said, his family house. It was the neighborhood fun house.
Right. Right.
It was.
Right.
I didn't have that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Yeah.
my uncles and my aunts. My
Right.
mama had 7 brothers, and
Wow.
all of them was hustlers, and none of them worked.
Right.
They all was in the streets and
Gotcha.
drunks and this, that, and the third, and a lot of my aunts was like that too, though. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So
Right.
when you got that, my granddad had a cafe. He used to let me give beer and drinks to all his little customers, and they
Wow.
all give me a nickel tip. You know what I'm saying? So I learned to buy cash when I was like 5, 6 years old. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
Right.
like, it is real, like how you grow up. It's
It is.
kind of like.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So I didn't grow up with the fun house. We
We.
had burglar
Right.
bars on our apartment building in the project.
My,
Wow.
Now how you got burglar bars on your apartment? It ain't yours.
yeah.
You-
Nigga, yeah,
Go
but
ahead.
if you made it to my house, like if
Right.
you made it in my house,
Right.
my daddy wasn't locking much of nothing up. You know what I'm saying? Like
Okay.
he said he just wasn't gonna live like that. But it
Right.
was hard getting past that door. But they took a lot of
Gotcha.
people in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of young boy from the neighborhood. There was a lady down the street she was like a foster parent, but like it's like every 3 or 4 years it'd be a new person. So
Right.
it wasn't like full time. She was in like a house.
Right.
And then like when she had like took in young boy, my dad would step in, you know what I'm saying? Because she was just a single woman. So but yeah, if you made it past it though, you was good. But it wasn't much of, I don't know. We just stayed to
Wow.
ourselves, you know what I'm saying?
My
Yeah.
house was kind of like central for like my friends. Like they came to my house more than anything. Like so my house was kind of the hub for my friends.
Yeah.
A few passed through, like at least during my years. My brother's 10 years older, so he might have had a little more experience, but I know my uncle used to come through a lot. I guess traveling or whatever, he'd stay asleep or whatever. I wake up, he's in the bed, like in a in the spare bed in the room. But yeah, my house was, I mean, we had a lot because we in New York. You don't play that.
Yeah.
We lived in a decent neighborhood, but there were a few, like we got our TV and VCR stolen once. And my dad, got cool and got a van with the TV in it. Yeah, had that about 2 weeks.
Okay.
Just someone helped themselves to that one,
But that's what it is, bro. Like, and that's the transparency piece right there. I can't let y'all know what I got going on.
Yeah.
What's the
Somebody to make a move on me.
What's
you
the
know
rule?
what
You
I'm
got a
saying?
TV, you don't put the box out.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Come
Hey, you
on,
learned that
bro.
you learned that early on, man.
Yeah.
Early on. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
You
in
ain't
the house cutting up the
You ain't
car.
just figured that out. Yeah, you ain't just figured that out.
Real, bro.
You learned that from previous experiences
Yeah.
long time ago. You know what I mean?
And it's the metaphor. It's the same thing. It's like
Right.
that's what I'm doing. I'm not showing y'all. I can't even
Right.
throw my trash out because somebody
Right.
might try to take what I got on the inside. You feel me? So you think I'm supposed to do that with my heart? You think I'm supposed to do that with an embarrassing moment? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, nah,
Yeah.
bro. Nah, I'm following
Yeah.
all the way back. And it's just built in us like that. So
Do you
as a matter of
think
fact,
if
when you find somebody that you
Right.
can be like that with, that's what make that person so special. Because
Right.
I
Oh,
ain't like that
yeah.
with everybody. You know what I'm saying?
No,
do you
no.
think if we were a little more transparent with each other, it'd be better? And
Nah,
we're gonna close up in a
I-
little bit, but
we
I'm
get
done.
more by TV stolen. No.
No,
Don't
no,
share your business with everybody.
I think it takes time to develop that type of trust.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like specific things that you want to share intimately with
Right.
somebody in your circle.
Right.
It take a little time. It ain't gonna be immediate,
Right.
but you know, I mean, because you don't know where they heart lie. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, you know, they may not have your best interest, or they may not have no interest at all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And spreading the information that you share with them
Right.
to whoever want to listen. You know
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just I don't know if it's that route.
Right.
Yeah.
So
And bro, I know you're trying to close, but
Yeah, go
that's real too. So let's say we on the other side. See, we sitting on the side where we got the information that somebody want to know, right?
Right.
But if you coming into somebody's circle,
Right.
let your presence be known, like your intent be known,
Right.
bro. Like sometimes when I talk to people, I be like, I don't even need no names. I'm trying to help you work through the thought process of it all. Don't give me no names. I don't need no details.
Right.
Just speak in general. I got a situation going on.
Right.
yeah,
Somebody took
Yeah.
something of mine for a certain amount of something, and you know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm
Yeah.
trying to show you, because if you mess around and hear this again, I don't even want you to think it was me. I can care
Yeah.
less about the
Right.
like my wife called it the tea of it. I don't
Yeah.
know all the details. I'm
Yeah.
here for you. So when you trying to come into somebody's circle,
Right.
understand one, it's a delicate place, and
Yeah.
don't dismiss what they talking about. Like, oh, you worried about that? No, you're not worried about
Right.
that. You might
Yeah.
have $1 million.
Right.
I might have 1,000. So
Right.
that $5 you owe me is critical. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, that's how I feel. That like me and my wife coming into y'all circle.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I can't come in there, you know, beat my chest, I gotta come in there and just sit my sit my tail down.
It's doing
I gotta
good.
come in there. I gotta come in there and sit my tail down
Yeah.
and be humble
Right.
that I was just invited to the table. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
That's all it is. To it.
And whether you know it or we know it or not, we always peeping each other. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, and we gaining trust. So Kneen went from somebody who like, let me just check bro out, to now I can call him by myself. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
But that just didn't happen.
Yeah.
Just
one day. You feel me?
first time.
First time I met bro was cool, but you got to show me you cool more than one time.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
That could be a show.
Yeah.
That could be your performance for that day. You know what I'm saying?
For real. You want to show me this, you know what I'm saying? For real, man.
All right. So we appreciate you guys rocking and hanging with us. Another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. Make sure you share. Still an opportunity to share, tag. And if you're missing out on the notifications, be sure to join our community. Text LWN to 84576. Text LWN to 84576. We look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. I might try something different tomorrow. Might do a call-in. But stay tuned for that. I'm gonna try it, you know, see how it goes. Actually, like, give out the link to be on the show. You get like 30 seconds, give your comment, give your question, give your concern, whatever have you, and then you're gonna be gone. All right. So just keep that in mind. So we look forward to, but you gotta join the text community, because I gotta know who you are, at least have your phone number. So you'll be more apt to be a little more straightforward than, you know, some shady troll or something. So just popping up here. So I'm only send the link through the text community. So you got to join the text community if you want to be part of the call-in portion of the show. That's the deal. All right. So we look forward to seeing you guys same time, same channel. Appreciate my brother Ephraim for being here, and Kaneem being in the building. So we look forward to seeing you guys same time, same place. Be blessed. Keep pushing. Keep growing. Stay safe. Keep wearing the mask. I know I don't like it. You don't like it, but it be what it be. Right?
Be what it be.
Be what it be. So we see you guys in the AM. Peace out, guys. As always, we love you. Know that God loves you more. Stay safe. Thank you guys for rocking, hanging, being. Make sure to sharing is caring. All of my replay peoples that watch in the background that I know see.